very textbook hit. It was what we call a profile tackle, which is from the side.
She came by the house. She was like blowing in the yard, and she was like, "Y'all need to get to the school because Oshay been hurt and they're doing CPR on him."
Being the second responder, after Coach Johns got there, we decided we needed to do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Coach Johns began the breaths, and I began the chest compressions.
One of the last times that I breathed for him, I said, "Milton, I love you," and he said, "I love you too."
Football changed Milton Oshay Johnson's life. Even before the injury, that's what everyone said. Football changed him, got him on the right path, made him a leader. And then, on August 19th, football changed his life again.
We were in the middle of a live scrimmage period, where we were running our first offense against a scout, what we call a scout defense. We had called a pass play, and my backup quarterback, Kendrick Sampson, was in at quarterback, and there was nobody open, so he scrambled around, and when he did, Milton came from across the field and hit him. When he went down, I was standing about 20 feet away, and the way he was laying, it looked like a shoulder injury to me, because he was kind of turned up on his side a little bit. When I got there, he couldn't breathe. So the first thing we thought was, got the wind knocked out of him. We definitely didn't expect what we found.
Like, nothing really, broke a leg, broke an arm. I got the wind knocked out of him or something, Didn't think it was like that until we got the chance and got the prognosis. They told us to wait outside in the waiting room, and then the doctor finally came out and told us that Oshay had broke his neck, and that he had broke his C3 vertebrae in his neck.
In mid-October, Oshay was transported again, this time to the Shepherd Center, a catastrophic care center in Atlanta which specializes in spinal cord rehabilitation.
We told him that we were going to rehabilitation in Atlanta at Shepherd's. And at first he didn't want to come. He wanted to stay, in Florida. He didn't want to come. So we was like, that was the only way you can get better if you come to, Shepherd's, because you got to, rehab. You can't just lay here. So when we got to Shepherd's, it kind of like opened his eyes up, because, like I say, he's seen other people in the same, position he in right now.
I mean, every spinal cord injury is a catastrophic injury, no matter whether it's an incomplete injury or not. The higher the injury is, the more things that it affects, more functions it affects. Once you get up above C3, it affects your ability to breathe.
Before the injury, Oshay measured challenges in pounds. He could bench press 305. He could clean and jerk 350. At the Shepherd Center, his rehabilitation included more daunting tasks, like using a 1-ounce stick in his mouth to lift the pages of a magazine.
All right, you know how we had this nice and straight for you to be doing the keyboard pad? Okay, for page turning, it may be beneficial to put a slight bend in the end of this so that you get a little bit more traction on it, although you did really, really well coming down here and kind of catching it from there. So I don't want to make a change to this unless you want to try it. You want to go where it is for a little bit and see how you do? And then if you want to try the bend, we will? Okay.
Let's try it.
All right.
Clean it up a little bit.
There you go.
Some of the biggest breakthroughs while in Atlanta came during time spent with Jacob Brooks. Jacob isn't a doctor or nurse or a therapist. He's another patient, an 18-year-old from Michigan who also was paralyzed from the neck down.
Here's the thing you got to get about Oshay, because he and Jacob have been friends ever since they've been here. Probably two of the most unlikely people that you will have seen together ever have become very good friends since they've been here.
In late November, Oshay played football again. On the same day his teammates were headed to St. Augustine for a playoff game, he played in a wheelchair football game at the Shepherd Center.
All right, this is universal wheelchair football. It's an all-inclusive game, so it doesn't matter what your level of ability is, everybody can play.
I think we were pretty good out there.
Oh yeah, real good.
While in Atlanta, he had surgery. A pacer was implanted in his diaphragm, and for the first time in nearly 4 months, he was able to breathe without a ventilator. In mid-December, he came back home, or at least close to it. He was transferred to a hospital in Gainesville.
He's getting mad, isn't he?
I still do get mad.
Trek, he's getting stronger. I think he did 350 today, something like that, which is pretty good for him. You know more than I do. I don't know how you know all that down here. Do you?
No.
I'll be back in on Christmas Eve. All right. All right. I love you, buddy. All right.
Love you, boy.
Next step in Oshay's journey is a return home to Baker County. His high school plans to have a rally. His buddies plan to take him hunting. His community plans to build a house.
Everybody done picked up on my son. I told him he's not my child, he's a community child now. I just want to tell everybody thank you for their thoughts, their prayers, their cards. You know, it's been rough, but you know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I always say, you know, we was on the road to recovery, and we'll be back home soon.
For Jacksonville.com, I'm Mark Woods.